Yo.
You are now listening to the smoking section.
Oh yeah.
Where you'll find hot topics.
And fire conversations.
Keep it locked.
You hear me?
Yo, what is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you living? Check it out. You guys are here with me during a very special time. I'm doing a late night recording. It's about 1 a.m. I'm on my way home from North Hollywood. Just got done hanging out with the homies from the Beast Camp. All that. But it's an emotional time. I'm on my way back home to Oxnard before I get ready to leave for Florida. I'll be living on the road here, traveling kind of back and forth with work. I'm going to be doing a lot, man, so it's a very bittersweet moment. I was with my son earlier and having him leave me to go with his mom, per usual, but today just kind of cuts a little closer to home than usual, and California has done me so much service, has done justice to my life, and I'm just excited for this next chapter. I'm going to be out there by myself, truly living by myself for once. Hold on, I'm going to hit the pin. Shout out Safeport, Port Wine. Need me, I'm going to miss y'all. But as y'all know, man, I've been out here kind of living by myself for a while now, and just kind of making my way, but out here, going to be out there working and stuff and living and traveling back and forth. It's going to be fun, but it's scary, and I'm out here talking with people now, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to all of you now. Some of y'all might think that just because, I create these podcasts and I dance and whatever, I get nervous too, I get scared too, I get anxious, I get worried, just like anybody else, just like any other normal human being, you know what I mean? And the thing is I know the value of my life, and I know the value of the content that I create, you know what I mean? I hate even calling it content, but this thing of ours, this thing of ours that we got going on here, the smoking section, the podcast, right? The dancing, the clothes. I know what I bring to the world, and as scary as it may be, as strong as that feeling is, I know my own power. I know the strength of my own power, and I know how wonderful my message is to the world. I know these things, right? I'm confident enough in them. And so I'm stepping into this next phase, into this next chapter, not so self-conscious, right? But I am nervous, I am worried, I am scared a little bit, the normal natural feelings of stepping into something so brand new and so foreign. But I understand my value, and I'm thinking about also right now, if I can go on this rant. I seen today that in the dance world, right, we're kind of going through some shit right now where, as I'm recording this, the NFL Super Bowl is about to take place in a few weeks, and people who follow football know that, Super Bowl commercials and the Super Bowl halftime show is huge entertainment, right? Huge exposure, huge entertainment, huge. It's a massive opportunity to have a commercial featured inside the Super Bowl or to be performing during it. And over the past years, I have been blessed enough to know a couple people who've danced in the Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. Well, this year, they are looking for free dancing, right? And right now, that is a huge cause for debate and conversation and discord amongst dancers. And it's would you take that job? Would you, how, to me, so the question is posed as pretty much as, should people take the job even though they're not getting paid? And let me give you my perspective. And my perspective is that the Super Bowl could suck a dick, right? Exposure does not mean anything these days. Exposure, Like, dancing simply for exposure means nothing, because there's a million people willing to dance for exposure, right? Like, and I know that sounds counterintuitive, but let me explain. Is my skill, right? Let me speak for myself. Is my skill has been honed over years of practice, and a little dash and sprinkle of good luck, right? Being in the right place at the right time, taking the opportunities as they came, the late night sacrifices, right? And for them to think that they could come and ask me to dance, or I audition to dance for them, and I not only show up and perform well, but I perform well more than all these other people. Like, why wouldn't you pay me? Why would you think that because you're making these millions of dollars that you shouldn't pay me for my talents? Like, there's something in that equation that I guess I'm just fucking missing, right? Like, you would not allow all these people to sit in these seats for free. So why would you put me on that stage for free? Like, no one participating in this Super Bowl, nobody participating in this Super Bowl is participating for free. Not one person, not even the camera guys, not even the light guys, not even the audio guys, not even the referees, not even the referees, right? These guys are getting bonuses because they're playing fucking playoff football, because they're performing a skill and a talent that they honed over years of practice. So you got me fucked up to think that you're going to have these guys come in during rehearsal. So let me be an assuming man, right? So you're assuming that these people don't have a job, right? Let's go to one or two ways. You assume these people don't have a job, so they're just free to dance all day long, and therefore should dance for you for free. That makes no fucking sense. Or you think these people have a job and their job pays them so well that they can afford to take time off for rehearsals to dance for you for free. Like, I don't get where that is beneficial for a dancer at all, besides the exposure part. Like, that exposure does not guarantee you shit as a dancer. That exposure, like, they say exposure like as if your face is going to make it on camera, right? There's dancers dancing in the set and their face never makes it on the camera, or they're only on camera for so long, they're there like a blip of the moment. So you got me fucked up thinking that I'm gonna bank my money and bank my time and bank my essence on being noticed by one person, right? Like, that's crazy as fuck. And for people to sit here, like, I don't know, for inside the dance community, we talk so much about creating opportunities and creating an economy within our dance community. Like, this is our fucking moment. Like, this is the moment to look at these executives and say, no, we're not doing it. We make your fucking show. We make it happen. Without us, you better hope that singer is fucking murdering it. Murdering it. I think it's so funny when you sit here and have these conversations of like, who's the greatest artist of all time, and it's like, dude, it's great to sit here and see these guys who can dance well, but who are they performing with? You know, it's good to look like the best dancer in the world when you're the only person dancing, you know, but when you have an ensemble of people dancing in unison and you're dancing with them, you create a different experience, right? Then you get into conversations like, damn, this guy can really dance. Look at him up there dancing with all these dancers. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce, but I give it up to her. She rehearses with her dancers as if she's a part of the troupe, which, you know, I have to say she is. Dude, this pin's fucking me up. Like, you know, you be fried when you're like just like spacing out, you know what I mean? But you're like trying to like hold it together, but you notice you're spacing out and you're still trying to hold it together. Like, that's when you know you're fucking fried. But anywho, but yeah, like, these dancers, the backup dancers, make everything come to life, you know what I mean? And for us to sit here and say, well, you know, if you don't have enough skin in the game, you shouldn't be worried about getting paid. It's like, dude, are you like, we're not talking about we're not talking about a little like startup brand commercial. Like, yeah, dude, do those for free, homie. You know what I mean? On the string. But you don't want to charge the Super Bowl? Like, y'all fools will charge people to judge these dance competitions or to battle or to whatever, but you won't charge the fucking NFL? Like, let's fucking talk about it. And it's just crazy as fuck to me that, like, other agencies are participating in this. Like, there's no way, right? Like, you want me to get, like, conspiracy theorists on you? My thing is I think that the NFL approached these dance, like, agencies and, you know, gave them a number, and then they're still trying to book the show, so they're telling the dancers, hey, it's a free gig. But even though they're still getting paid, so they don't pay the dancer. You know what I mean? So I think it's some backdoor and shit like that going on a little bit, because there's no way, like, an agency's supposed to stand up for their dancers. You know what I mean? And from what I know and from what I've heard from people, like, they're always really well taken care of through their agencies. So to hear that this gig is coming through wanting free dancers, to me is a little weird. There's some fishy shit going on with that one, if you ask, you know, if you ask me. But that's only if you ask. I'm just here to observe, you know. But know your value, man. Yeah, y'all gotta know, like, if I could say anything, I say all that to say this, is that you gotta know your value. You gotta know what you're bringing to the table, right? Like, dancing, people think dancing on stage is so easy in comparison to somebody singing, right? But it's like, bruh, let's think about it. Like, if they're not hitting the note, or if they're not singing the right lyrics, or they're set, right? Like, how do y'all think they get from song to song so flawlessly? Because they know they're set. They know what song is coming next. They know when it's coming. They know where to be standing, right? So that's great, right? But us dancers, we do that shit too. We're doing the exact same thing. And while they sing, we are dancing. And just like dance, singing is a talent that's honed and practiced over years of training. So I just don't, like, yeah, I value every art form. Do I believe I should be getting paid as much as Beyonce? No, I do not. I don't believe that I'm as talented as Beyonce, period, as an artist. But also in our respective crafts, I do not see myself as talented as Beyonce. Does that make sense? So therefore, I don't believe that I should be getting paid as much as her, but you need to kick me something. And for the Super Bowl to be happening in LA, the place that I consider the Mecca of dance, right? Yes, hip hop may have started in New York, but if you ask me, the Mecca of dance is LA. Shout out my West Coast. We got to know how to value ourselves, and that just goes back to, like, what I was saying earlier about, like, me leaving to Florida and being out there to work. Like, I know my value, you know, and I know where I am in this whole, and I know where I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this whole grand scheme of things. But even though I may not be a Beyonce, right? Even though my talent may not be at that level, doesn't mean that what I bring is any less, that it holds less value, right? Like, what's the best way to say it? Like, yes, the price tag may be different, but that doesn't change the fact that it's valuable, right? Excuse me. It doesn't change the fact that it's valuable. That's what I'm saying. There's value. You're needed. Dancers are needed, and therefore in that need there should be some kind of compensation. and you can't pay me in compensation of, exposure. Like, you don't even, like, dancers aren't even getting tagged in the videos. Like, they'll post a clip of these dance, like, you know, of this dance performance, and none of these dancers are getting tagged. So how can you say exposure? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, social media, they can repost it onto their thing. Cool. Yeah, great. But they don't have 2.3 million followers. They don't have 800,000 followers. They don't have the 1 point, you know? They don't have the M's. They don't have the blue checks. They're hoping to get blue checks. But how can, you know, it's like you're talking about exposure, but what exposure? What are you talking about? You don't even put the guys' names in the credits. There's no credits. Who's the choreographer? No, you could, anybody who watches football, right, and who's watched the Super Bowls, how about this? Get me all the people who've watched the past 10 Super Bowls, 5, let's say 5 Super Bowls. You can name either a player from those Super Bowls or the winning team of those Super Bowls, right? But not one single person could tell me a name of one of those dancers. I bet you could tell me one of the name of those dancers or who choreographed the halftime show of all those Super Bowls. But you could tell me who won. You know, if you watched them, you could tell me who won. You could tell me who one of the players were, but you couldn't tell me none of those dancers. You couldn't tell me none of the performers. None of that. You couldn't tell me who the choreographers were. None of that. You couldn't tell me. You couldn't fucking tell me. And that's horse shit. That's fucking horse shit. And I'm not saying Pam a Millie. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the audacity to look at my peoples and say what you do is not valuable to me. That shit is fucking nuts. That shit is fucking nutty. I would dare, motherfucker, I would dare you to do some crazy shit like that to me. I'd fire my agent. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got me fucked up. Fucked up all the way, fucked up on that one, Chief. Not paying the fucking dancers. That's absurd. I want to know how many pizzas are going to be ordered the day of the Super Bowl. You feel me? I want to know how many. I want to know how much money are these people paying to advertise during the Super Bowl? Tell me. They're taking and the NFL is a non-profit organization. Look, Google that. Google that. The NFL is a non-profit organization, and they're out here not paying fucking dancers. You are tripping. Tripping. Y'all fools ain't even supposed to be catching a check like that. You feel me? And if one of these cats who ain't played a single fucking game making his 80, 100, 200K, y'all can pay the dancers. You can pay them. That shit's crazy as fuck. Like, there's so many kids, like, and I can even speak to this too, and kind of why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now. Like, there's so many kids who pour their heart, their soul, everything, their everything into dancing. Like, growing up right here in Oxnard and coming out of Channel Islands High, like, we were some of the premier dancers of California. And it was like, I competed against some of the elite dancers of Cali, and to think, like, we spent hours and hours and hours in practice to have our parents be like, hey, there's no future in dancing, hey, there's no this, hey, there's no that, and to kind of have it validated by the Super Bowl. Like, the audacity of a company of such a lucrative nature to not pay the performers is fucking insane. Like, even the cheerleaders don't get paid that much, which I could kind of understand now too why they would be mad. I could understand the argument. Well, it's like, well, they don't even pay the cheerleaders that much. Well, it's like, well, we should probably address that issue. Like, we should probably address that issue too. Now, I know these girls book a lot of other, like, modeling gigs, and they take dance gigs too, and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. But I see a redundancy there, and which lies the issue. You know, if you are a cheerleader for a National Football League team, I don't see why that shouldn't be your only profession, right? Like, I understand booking other modeling gigs, but that's freelance. That's something you're doing on the side, right? Like, I don't think Patrick Mahomes' contract is really affected by the sponsorships he also takes. You know what I mean? Like, that's his own dealings. Like, the commercials he decides to do. Like, I remember when Campbell's Soup, getting a Campbell's Soup commercial was like a big thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, if he got a Campbell's Soup commercial, I don't think that quite affects his contract negotiations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they get to say, well, you know, we're going to pay you a little bit less because we noticed you took a deal with Nike. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You get me? So it doesn't matter if dancers have skin in the game or not. It doesn't matter if they're world champion dancers. What matters, like, this is what matters, right? What matters is if a dancer shows up, they perform, and they perform well, right? That's what matters. So if we're all at auditions, I'm not going to be mad at somebody who gets a spot who may be fucking dancing only for a year, right? In comparison to me, where I've poured in, like, you know, I'm closing in on 15 years of dancing, right? Like, I'm on my 15th year of dancing. So so that part for me doesn't matter, right? Like, you get the job, God bless you. But what matters to me is people who are willing to take the job without the collective bargaining of all of us together, right? Like, there should be some more people, because this job, if I remember, the Super Bowl's happening in LA. And so there needs to be some more LA heads coming together and saying, yo, foo, like, let's talk about this. Like, yeah, you got the job, great. Let's talk about this. Like, fuck it, pass up on it. Like, we'll see who's really about the community. You know what I mean? And when more of these gigs begin to pop up, we'll be able to take more control. Because nobody, and this is like, you know, this is my way of, like, cancel culture, right? It's like, okay, dude, if you don't want to stand beside us on this, then you're just one of those guys, right? And, you know, all power to you. I love you as a dancer, right? But I would know that if and when I get my own stuff going and I'm booking people, I wouldn't book them. I would not book you if you took that type of job. Because you're going against what we are all fighting for. There's not a single dancer alive right now that doesn't wish they could be dancing and getting paid for it. Right? Yeah, posting reels on Instagram is cool. Posting fucking, you know, TikTok videos is chill. I get it. But I am from the street. I'm a street dancer. You know what I'm saying? I snuck out of my bedroom window to go to the local party spot so that we could dance and session and battle. I didn't fly my monkey ass across the fucking US at 16 years old to live out here for these people to be like, oh, it's cool, oh, exposure. What the fuck is exposure, my boy? Yes, exposure is being up there. But we're doing this because it's a dream, something we want to get paid to do. I don't want to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a doctor. I don't wanna. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna. You can't fucking make me, dude. You know? And I don't know why we should make any child, any person, any adult, like, why bow down to that? But that's what's happening. And it frustrates me. But you know what? Like, as time continues and we see more and more of this and more people are talking about it, you know, we'll get to a point to where we can come to some kind of understanding or agreement, man. And if you guys have any opinion on it, please let me know. Hit me up on the Instagram, yeah, at Corpse. KORPSX, right? Know your value, right? I'm finna head to Florida. I know my value. I know what I can bring to the table. I'm finna be out there hustling my ass off, fucking, you know what I'm saying, going crazy. But it's all for good use, you know, and I just hope all of you guys, you know, can look into the future and see that, like, our destinies are in our hands, right? The more conversation we have about these topics, the more debate, conversation, and listening that we can create, the better our lives would be, you know. And so even for myself, you know, way off dance, you know, with this 9 to 5, I'm out here and I'm going into the uncharted territories because maybe this can do something for me, right? And I just wish more of us would look at that in both aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, in your career, like, you gotta be able to find it within yourself to ask for money, even though that may be hard, or to make demands when, even though you may not be a demanding person, right? To know your worth, to understand your value, right? Even though you want to remain humble. These are it's a crazy fight within ourselves that is spewing out into reality, right? And it's one that we need to address. And I know we won't solve it this year, but I'm hoping soon. I'm hoping soon that there's never another dancer that ever takes the stage and is not being compensated, right? Like, and I'm talking about a performance, a huge performance, like game-changing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Yeah, I love you guys. I'm gonna release this one, matter of fact, right now. So anybody listening to this tomorrow, know that these are my last hours in California for now, and it's been a journey. It's been a wild journey. I'm coming through Camarillo right now, seeing the movie theater and shit that, like, I grew up going to, and about to make it into Oxnard, and it's crazy. I'm going to be back hopefully in a year, hopefully sooner, you know, but be back in a year, and be back with my boy. Hopefully have a down payment. Well, not hopefully, I'll have a down payment for a house, buy my home, and set up a life for me and my boy. For all of you listening, you can follow your dreams. You can do these things, right? Just, you got to know your value and when and how to stand up for yourself. Yeah. Again, if y'all want to talk about it, hit me up. Corpse, KORPSX on Instagram. Yeah. I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hope you have an amazing week, month, year, and life. Yeah. Until we chat next time. I'll see all of y'all in Florida. Stay motivated out there, all right? Bang, 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 bang.